Hello fellow readers, welcome to my YouTube channel where the star is the book, and today's star is this little book, Schopenhauer's Telescope, by the Irish author Gerard Donovan. The book was written in 2003. Well, this book screamed to me once again the immense power of reading, because overall I think it's a flawed book, a patchy work. It has some issues with pace, some hard to relate episodes, but it still managed to stir up an immense, a heated debate about the nature of evil, which is the main premise of the book. Funny how a sort of split personality occurs within the reader every time you pick up a book. There's the reader you were before reading that book, with all his ideas, his beliefs, his life experiences, and then there's the reader you sense you are becoming while reading that book. The title, it refers to a philosophical concept of Arthur Schopenhauer, who is esteemed to be probably the most depressing philosopher there ever was. The book deals with human conflict. The leitmotif of the book is human conflict. Listen to this on page 17. You can set your watch by human conflict. It matches self-interest to the nearest second. There are two main characters in the book. The baker, who is seen in the opening act, digging a hole in the context of a border war. So we soon realize that that hole he's digging is really meant to be a mass grave. And then there's the history teacher of the town. The history teacher approaches the baker as he is digging the mass grave, and he starts questioning the baker, picking his brain apart, trying to reach to the bottom of the reason of why the baker is actively collaborating with the invading enemy. The baker was never a well-liked character in the town. He was a loner, he was a misanthrope, he had some laughable altercations with townspeople, but he is extremely well-read and self-taught. He holds self-survival to be the engine of history. Manifestations of evil throughout history are to him nothing more than manifestations of pragmatism and self-survival. Of course, we soon realize that indeed the baker is a sociopath. So, the baker and the history teacher, they debate and they choose the arena of history. They discuss everything from the Mongol invasions, Genghis Khan's personality, the Dresden bombings in World War II, the Belgian atrocities in the Congo. The two men have very conflicting and contrasting views about the role of men in history. Listen to this insight into the psyche of the baker on page 74. You don't understand surviving, so you call it evil. I don't want to know that it's me who dies when history is written. I want to know why me and not someone else, and what can I do to stop it. The teacher tries to make him assume his faults for actively collaborating with the enemy, but it's a dead alley for the baker's conscience. The book brought about a ton of very interesting reflections. And sorry for plugging in the preacher's mode right now, but these reflections and these topics are very dear to me. First and foremost, most historians consider the Spanish Civil War as the last known romantic war. Well, I would argue that fighting evil in all its manifestations is also a task for a sort of romantic character. It takes a sort of naive personality, still able to feel almost a childlike outrage in the face of evil, to fight it. Because, let's face it, the historical odds are definitely stacked against them. Another very interesting topic I found in the book is that most people have a sort of lukewarm adherence to the principles of Catholicism because it's a surrogate, is an alibi for morality for most indifferent people. The history teacher is an atheist, and he has this to say to the baker when they discuss God. God's a ghost, baker. Listen to me now. And he shook a finger at me. He's behind every closet, and we put him there. Ointment for our oldest fear, that we won't survive. So we take God out occasionally as needed. I'm tired. Let's have some God. My mother died. My father. Give me some God. I'm sick and I can't get well. Where did you leave the God last time you used it? Is there any God left in the bread basket? Don't tell me we've run out of God. I told you to get some. But these atheist remarks are, oddly enough, met with outrage from the part of a sociopath baker. This is how the baker retorts to the history teacher. That's pure blasphemy. That's outrageous. You will pay for that. And this odd exchange to me shows it reflects indeed the hypocrisy of many people who leave up to God, and only up to God, the task of doing good deeds. Another interesting topic I found in the book is the role of depression in moral indifference. The teacher senses that depression plays a big role in the falling out of the baker with the rest of the community. And he has this to say about that on page 191. The black dog baker is depression. The dog robs people of their vital life like a thief a handbag on a crowded street. And you look around and say, where did it go? You stand in a fog and can't touch the real world. You look much the same as you did before. You sound the same, but you are a ghost, absent from your own life, an inch to the side, one step away from happiness. And later on in this page, he also states, it's not sadness, it's black bile. And indeed, he is right. We are later told the baker doesn't seem to have very fond memories of his parents. They mostly gave him the silent treatment throughout his childhood. And while he is reminiscing his childhood, this is what he has to say on page 292. I moved away from my body just a little, just an inch. I remembered the day it happened. Everything felt strange for an instant. I felt dizzy. The trees blurred, a rush of strange blood in my head, and I was evicted from inside myself and replaced with a deader version of me. I tried no more. And it's very hard for us as readers to judge and criticize the baker from this point on. And this personal example, to me, shed a new light on history. Listen to this on page 128. The only test, baker, is how not to erase ourselves from the map. Our history is that things don't last. Every generation creates the right monsters to destroy itself. So the question here is, what is the right monster that we have created and that is destroying this generation? And to me, this shows how history can never really serve us as a cautionary tale, and that's why we keep repeating it. History is indeed an amalgamation of collective illusions, of personal choices, of wrong personal choices, of individual mistakes viewed through a collective lens. It's very easy for us humans to be off just by an inch, the better angels of our nature. A hand, a gesture, a menace, a word can easily divorce you from everybody else, and you just stay there in the comfort of your own self-preservation, oblivious to all the lessons everybody else tries to teach you. And God, or whatever you want to call it, put us in this cosmic arena to succeed. But really, there's only 1, 2, 3 ways tops you can succeed, and there's a million ways you can fail, and it is so damn easy to fail. And to me, that's the main lesson of history, and that's why we keep repeating it. So this is a wrap. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope to see you again for our next review. Until then, I wish you all of the best, and please read on. It is known for speeding up the pace of evolution. See ya.